Good morning, StreamYard and YouTube fans. This is Philip Reynolds, and it's time for some Carnage, some Demolition Derby. And this morning before I started, I wrote down what everybody's card bonus was, and we're kind of ready to go. And let me switch you around to our first external camera here. Make sure I get the right one. No. Okay. And Chris Stratton, Delaware, is our first player. He is driver. He's Goober in the player cards, in the driver cards, and if you'll notice, his bonus is to eliminate choice opposing driver's bonus. And so he is going to take away Sean's driver bonus, which means if you come down here and look, it says extra, and then I know that's italicized and really hard to read, but it says extra capacity for external damage. So his damage would go up to 9 rather than to 7. So Chris is going to be smart and eliminate Sean's bonus. And with that, 2 bonuses are taken on the first turn. D. Scott Howard's or Link will then be our first roller today. All right. We get a 25, and on Link's column, 25. That is a skid right off the bat, and all of our drivers are grade C, and so we will roll 1 dice to see what kind of result this guy gets, and that is a 5 on the skid chart, and that is a stall. And as per yesterday's instructions, if D. Scott Howard cannot restart his car on the next turn, he'll be out of the race. All right, this is getting good already. Swap back over. Okay. G Puck is next. That is 5-5 on. Let's swap over to the card. And he is G Puck is Chuck, and 5-5 is also a skid, so we re-roll. And that is a 1. We roll a 1 on that. And that means external damage of 1. So he got an external damage of 1, and the way we do this is the bullet, as they call it, represents the first possible driver. In this case, it's Chris, and a non-bullet would be the next available driver. So Chris gets our first damage of the day. Right. Chris Strack gets our first damage of the day. And we move over to row 2. And I am the first driver in row 2. Okay, we read the black die first, and then the white dice in our races. And 6-3, and that is external damage. External damage, internal damage. External damage, internal damage, and this goes to the player with the least amount of damage. And since there is since this is round 1, basically what we have to do is we have to we would have either Tribe Fan or ID Jester here, and because the 2 in this case is a blank, because it's blank, it goes to the second player, which means ID Jester. So he gets our second mark of damage. And he gets removed 1 quality because he had an internal damage as well, which is an exclamation. And so here, the way you show this on a player's card, and his card is Jimmy Hatch. The way you show this on a player's card is you put a red chip, meaning that when ID Jester rolls, if he rolls a 1, he's basically nothing happens if that is rolled. So okay, we go to Tribe Fan, and that is a 1-1. Oh, And Tim Tribe fan here is Raul, and 1-1 means no damage, which means we flip his card over, and he will receive no damage for the rest of this turn. So basically, any damage that ID Jester imposes will come to me, to my card, because normally there would be 2 cars, but because of that, there's only 1 car, and all damage will come to me. We have a 1-4, and like here's the example of what. Here's an example of what I said. It's 1-4, but because it's 1-4, but because ID Jester's 1 column is redded out because of it due to internal damage, there's no damage done, and we go to the next column or row, and Rob is our next driver. We have 3-2 in a bullet, and Rob is Travis, and a 3-2 is an external damage to the player with the most amount of damage. Unfortunately, that means we would have to roll, and because we got a bullet, and there's 4 cars in this. When he's got a bullet, that means it goes to the first driver. So Big Don gets external damage. So in 7 rolls, we have 3 players with external damage. And Big Don is our next player, and he gets a 1-6, and he is Rudy Petro, and that is a car. And it says here that we look at the car charts, and right now there's no damage. So we would roll. And okay. As you can see, 3 was rolled, and there's no damage to his, well, I take that back. There's 1 damage to his car, so he gets so there is an X. So we will, this particular X we see that it doesn't go to the first player, So Rob is safe. And then we roll for Sean to see if Sean will get it. Sean doesn't get it, which means that Glenn B gets the X in this particular case. And Sean is our next driver. 6-5. He is rolling as Mr. Don Roberts, and 6-5 is a skid, and he's a C driver. He gets a 2. Which means that nothing happens. Sean got lucky on that. Nothing happens on that exchange. All right, so that takes us to Glenn B. And okay. Okay. And 2, 4. And on this car, it's XO, which means he gets, Glenn will get a damage to his car. And he gets to give it to the player with the most amount of damage, which would be that means that Big Don gets another dose of damage to his car. And so Big Don has two external damage. And we go to Papa Rob. He's our next, and he is Snake. And he gets 4, 5. And 4, 5. He's a skid. And we will roll for the skid. And that is a 6. And it says go to unusual chart. So Papa Rob makes us go to the unusual chart. And we will roll 2 dice for the unusual chart. And that is a 44. It says wubba, 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 boom. Cross field to deliver triple X to any opponent. And because of our friend JP Montoya, he only needs 6 to be out of the race, and JP Montoya will be our first driver without having rolled to be out of the race. All right, and that puts Delon up next. Five, four, and a bullet. And okay, 5, 4 is external damage to, well, to the least amount of damage. Oh, wait a minute. 5, 4. Okay. He gets 1 external damage to himself. So Delons will get 1 damage to himself, but Papa Rob, because JP Montoya is out, will get 1 external damage to Papa Rob. All right. And that is the end of our first turn. We will, now what we do, because the turn is over, we will pick up all the cards just as they are. And we'll reshuffle them. All right. All right. Okay, now that the cards are shuffled and that, I will turn them over and we'll get ready for round, turn 2. D. Scott Howard, Eddie Jester, Glenn B., Sean, Papa Rob, Chris Strat, Big Don, Philip, we have, that's Tribe Fan, but he's face down at the moment. Oh. Delons, and we have G-Puck, and okay, and since the rows have changed, I will have to look at my handy dandy pre-race chart that I filled out to make sure that I actually go by what I have written here and not what's on the side, so that you'd basically, if I did that, you'd basically be you'd be a different driver each time. I have to make sure I keep the same driver with the same cars. So yeah, so we will go back to our cards, and D. Scott Howard as Link, I guess the best way of meaning Lincoln, rolls first. And he has a 3, 4, and bullet. And oh, wait a minute. Before we can even roll, we have to see that if Link, because I forgot that his car was stalled, so we have to roll to determine that first. And okay, and the way we determine that is the idea of odd and even. So he rolls, and if it is even, if because it's odd, D. Scott Howard is our second man out of the race because he was unable to get his car moving. So D. Scott Howard will join Pablo Montoya as cars eliminated. And that means that ID Jester, any damage that he does, will go to Glenn B. And he has 1, 3. And bullet doesn't matter here because Glenn B is the only other driver in that. So we will look at ID Jester is Jimmy, and because it is on ID Jester's that is ID Jester's card there, and because it's on his one card, no damage is inflicted. And we will move to column 2. And column 2 has Sean up. And that is 5, 5. And Sean is Stone. So we will look at Stone's card. Stone is over here, 5, 5, and that is a skid result. And remember that these cars are all grade C because this is the first race. And we have a skid result of 2. And once again, nothing happens. There's no damage or anything done. So we will go to Papa Rob. And that is 2, 6. Papa Rob is Snake. Means we go over here. And we're looking at 2-6, and that is a car chart. And we will roll. And that is a 6 on the car chart. And he has 1 damage. And Papa Rob stalls. So we have our second stall victim in this race, and happens to be Papa Rob. So he will possibly get a chance to restart his car. And takes us to Rob. Just so happens Papa Rob and Rob are underneath each other. Okay, we got a 4-6, and he is Travis. Four, 6, and that is a car result. So we will roll a dice. Rob rolled a 1. And we will look at one, and Rob has no damage, so that will be an X. And so that means that Rob will get 1 external damage. Okay. And we move over. We move over to Chris Strat, Delaware. Two, 5, and Chris's car is Goober. And a 2-5 is a skid result. We'll roll. And skid result is 5. And Chris Strat, Delaware stalls. So Goober is stalled. So we now have 2 cars stalled in the same turn. That takes us to Big Dawn. That is a 1-2 for Big Dawn, and Big Dawn is Rudy. And a 1-2 would be an X, an exclamation, and it goes to the little white star, means it goes to the person with the least amount of damage in that row. Okay. And that means, and somebody will lose an internal damage. So not only do they get not only do they get external damage, but they also get internal damage. And checking back over this, we see that there is 0, so it does not go to Chris. It would come to me, so that means that I get external damage, but I also get internal damage, and so I have to roll to see which trait gets eliminated from me, and that is 2. And I am Dino. And so everything in the second column is gone from me. So it means I roll. And this is, luckily, it wasn't that particular, but 4-5. And 4-5 is a skid. And that is 1. Okay, skid. And that will be 1 more damage to my car. So I now have 2. And that will take us to the top of the third pile. And we can turn this card over now. So Tribe Fan is back in the race with us. And he rolls. And that's a 6-2 with a bullet. And Tribe Fan, he is Raul. Find Raul here. Okay. Raul and 6-2. And that is X with a exclamation, with 2 exclamations, and that little asterisk means that it goes to the player with the most amount of damage. And on this particular case, I'll show it to you. The person with the most amount of damage is Delon's, so he gets an X, and he gets 2 removal of 2 traits, so we'll roll 2 dice, and that, you can see, that is 2 2s, so so that means that Delon's character, who is Jay, I have to find Jay. That means Jay will lose his 2 column twice, and if you get 3 chips on any one trait, you're out of the race. So that is very, very crucial. So and that will take us to Delon's. 5, 4, and Delon's is J, and 5-4 would be an X to 5-4, yeah. He gets 1 damage, and Tribe Found can get 1 damage. Okay. And that will take us to G-Puck. Take us to G-Puck. And we've got a 2-6. G-Puck is Chuck. And Chuck is over here.